Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello, how are you, April?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How's the weather by you?
Oh my God, I'm in California, baby. It's paradise. Absolutely.
Is it too hot or is it never too hot?
You talking about the weather? Or you talking about me?
Oh, well, I know you're too hot. I know how that goes.
Okay, all right. Well, that's the best part of the whole interview is holding that space.
I
Absolutely.
love it.
All right, so Brains, we're doing it right here on the edge. Where's my pointer? Girl, I can't find my pointer. Here's my pointer right here. Well, we doing it, Jennifer. We're doing it right here.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm so glad to have you here. Tell my brains a little bit about you and how you show up in the world.
So I would like to think that I show up very positive for everyone. There's a lot going on in this world, and social media is a rough place. So I stay out of politics. I stay out of anything news related, and I basically pour into people about kindness, about positivity, about gratefulness, about you can do it, encouraging people, being motivational. And I didn't realize the effect I was having until I went to a wake one day, and someone who had just lost her husband said, "You haven't been posting the same way you normally do." I need those posts. I look for them every morning.
Wow.
And then I started realizing the effect that I was having on people and that they actually look for that positivity. So it's something that I enjoy. It's something that is important to me. So I don't like to dwell in negativity. I don't like the victim mentality, for me personally. And I like to show people that there's another way.
I know, but you know what? So many people unfortunately get off on that.
Yes.
You know, it's a mental orgasm for them that, just the uglier that they can be. But it takes discipline, Jennifer, to be kind.
It takes
work
to be
That's
kind.
why love is mentioned so many times in the Bible.
Yes.
It takes work to do that, because I can go from a flicker to a flame, but not as much as I used to.
Well, me too.
I'm a woman of a particular age, girl. I'm about to be 60 years old, and there's not too much you can say to really rock me. I haven't already heard. However, I take a deep breath. I try to consider the source, and I think before I speak, and I think before I act now. Even more so, is it even worth it?
Right. And I try to put myself in the other person's shoes.
Absolutely.
I try to have a little empathy, and we never really know what's truly going on with someone else. So I try to just say, maybe they're hurting right now, or maybe they've had a really bad day. And maybe that smile will be something that changes their day for them. So maybe nobody smiled at them today.
Yep.
It's work.
Or a conversation. So, tell us a little bit about your history and your upbringing.
So, I am from Brooklyn, New York, in case you
Brooklyn
haven't picked that up from the accent yet. Anybody I speak to from anywhere else is always like, say coffee for me. So that's my big one, coffee. So I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and then I moved out to Long Island when I was about 18. I have struggled with my weight since as early as 13, I could remember, but looking back at pictures, it was probably even earlier than that, and went on the lovely Slim Fast back then.
I know.
Doing my shakes and
diarrhea on steroids.
Yes, yes. And I remember my mother went on it, in solidarity with me, and it was brutal. But the diet mentality started early, and the restriction and not being happy, not having self-esteem, not having anybody, bad body image, started very early. So that is something that's been a work in progress for me. I'm 46 and I still work on it daily.
Well, okay. Do you work on the weight management? Or do you
I
work on the self-esteem part of it, or both?
I work on both for myself personally. I believe the self-esteem is more important because with that, everything else will snap into line, that it's a puzzle, but I'm mindful about the food. And I have definitely struggled. And I think that's what I bring to the table is the constant reminder that you don't have to be perfect, that we all struggle and we all have our struggles and there's seasons. So there are seasons that I have been a perfect size 10 and there are seasons I've been a size 26. And when you're going through things and don't have the support or don't have a tribe, I like to call it, when you don't have your peeps, it's hard. So I
It
try
is,
to be
and
that.
but you know what? And again, the adjustment that you have to make in your own mind. As I was on a weight management, girl, I was doing so good, and I looked in the mirror one day and I didn't recognize who I was. My mind hadn't caught up with my waistline.
Yes, that
It will
is
set you aback, and then you hear all this. Oh, you look so good, and this, that, and the other. And then they see you a year and a half later. Oh, you put that weight back on, huh? All this
silently
snarkiness.
smirking.
And
Or
then,
the people that tell you, don't lose any more weight, you're getting too thin, you look
right,
sickly, like
right.
trying to sabotage you. I
But
know my own.
But that's with anything. That's with your relationships. That's with your finance. That's with your business. Folks be up in other folks' business.
Yes.
They really do, and they don't have any degrees. They haven't walked your walk.
Right.
Your life journey. So I totally get that. So what are you pouring into other people? Out besides kind words and not refilling their beverage.
You know what? I think that I am pouring into them just that
Right.
accountability
That's
to
huge.
somebody
Right.
that's not a friend. That's not going to tell them, oh, you can have the cheesecake. It's okay. I'm like, you can have the cheesecake. But what is more important? Where are your goals? Like I tell people, be a food snob. Like if it's not
Mm.
the best or something you've never had before, then you know what it tastes like. Pass it by. So we kind of talk about things not in, a diet program
Right.
because anybody can lose weight and any program works, but it's up here and it's the mind. And
Right.
it's working on your relationships with other people, your environment, what you listen to, what you do on a daily basis, who you spend time with, how you sleep, how you move your body, if you have time by yourself, like all of those things come together and make you a healthier person. So to me, health is a holistic approach and it's
Right.
something that you need to work on all the components, otherwise there'll always be a squeaky wheel, there'll
Right.
always be a squeaky chain, and you will gain the weight back. So I'm very honest with my clients. I don't promise them anything. It's a
You
journey.
can't promise them because you don't know
No.
what they're gonna do. They're gonna tell you, "Oh, Jennifer, honey, I've been doing my 16-hour fast and this, that, and the other. No weight has come off," and they, sat there and just ate a pint of ice cream.
And
You know,
I've done it. So I've
but
gone
it's
from
but it's emotional
350
eating.
to emotional eating, binge eating, overeating. There's so many components and everybody's different.
Right.
So it's
And
really
food is a
drilling down.
drug. It's a drug just like, sex, alcohol, cocaine. It is
And
a
it's an
comforter.
addiction.
But there's a couple things. You want to it's about purpose and progress. It's not about the pounds.
Exactly.
And so you're going to get there eventually. I talk to my plate. I say, "Ooh, it's too white over there. Let me add some green. Let me add some red. Oh my goodness, do I really need that?" I get my little measuring cup. Brace, let me tell you how easy this can be. And I'm talking the talk because when you see my body here in about 6 months, you're gonna be like, "Damn it." And I don't care who says, "Oh, she's too thin." I'm gonna be thin enough for me and Mr. Magnificent, and that's all that's gonna matter. I don't care
Yes.
about what none of y'all have to say. Okay, so Brains, watch your refills. You be drinking those calories. I know my cousin would go and get a 32 ounce and drink it up and get another 32 ounce. It's straight syrup. If
Yes.
you are still needing the refill, it's the sugar. You're not quenching your thirst. The only thing that's going to ever really quench your thirst is water.
Exactly.
The second thing, when you start losing weight, remember and give yourself time to get rid of the bloat. You've got a lot of inflammation. See, y'all gonna be able to see all up in here. This is gonna be thin. You're gonna be like, ooh, look at April.
Sizzling that masterpiece, right?
It is. And you know what? Another thing, Brains, eat at home. Now, you can do a lot of damage at home, just like you can do out in town. However, you know what's in it. You can regulate your salt. You can regulate your portion size. If it's real good to you, you might be able to have that one meal 3 times that day, and it'd be good to you, But think about those little things and how much money you're saving. Food is so cotton picking expensive.
Yes.
And these people that's going out to the fast food, I went to a burger joint about 2 weeks ago with my daughter. And we vowed not to go back for 6 months. It was $18 for a burger, fries, and a drink. So I had grease and syrup and bread for $18.
And you were probably hungry in a half an hour or an hour.
I wanted to snack. I wanted to snack. Okay, so outside of emotional eating, what other great things are you doing in the world? What is this something that you want the world to know that you're pouring into them right now?
I just think, honestly, well, I work for the state of New York, and I am also an EAP coordinator. So I'm an employee assistance program. So I help other employees that are struggling. So just helping is a huge part of, I raise beautiful children, I think. I have 4 girls.
Wow.
Yes, they're college age and just moving out on their own. And I think pouring into family is important. I think pouring into others, community. Those are really the things that I have focused my life on, not so much the big pictures, but the small things, the people that might go unnoticed, the people that, are quiet, or do you need anything? Or I noticed
the more introverted or empathic people, because they're overlooked. And I'm telling you, nerds are sexy, but you got to watch the quiet ones, Brain. See, everybody think it's the loud, boisterous person. They just want attention, but them quiet ones.
Yes.
And when you're dealing with children and you're dealing with, again, you can look at their eating habits. Are they eating too much? Not enough? Are they depressed? Are they talking to their friends? It's all connected to mental health, and everybody's going to have a mental health trigger. Something's going to trigger us. So let's ask you some fun questions there.
Let's do it.
This is my new favorite question, girl. If you were an appliance in the kitchen, what appliance would you be and why?
What appliance would I be and why? Oh, all right. I got to come up with a good one. I want to say the stove, actually, because I would go from cold to hot, just like that. Like,
would you be a gas stove or would you be an electric stove?
I think I'd be a gas stove. I like that. Whoosh.
You want to ignite it. You know what I'd be? I'd be the spice rack.
Ooh, I like that, because you have different flavors every day.
Different flavors, girl. I want to spice it up. I want to kick it up a notch.
That's a good one.
If you were a flower in the garden, what flower would you be?
Oh, if I was a flower, I'd be a sunflower.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Because they actually, there's a saying that they lean in towards each other. And I don't know the whole saying. I don't want to mess it up, but it's just basically about like how sunflowers will lean in on each other. And I think people should lean in more on each other for support and help. So
if you were an animal, what animal would you be?
I want a good one. A cheetah.
Oh boy. So you are quick and slick.
A little sassy.
You're what? Yeah, that's good. You know what I'd be?
What?
A party animal.
Oh!
We gonna raise the roof to that. Girl, I was doing an interview and I asked a woman one time, I said, if you were an animal, what animal would you be? You know what she told me? She told me she'd be a snake.
Did she say why?
Yes. Well, I asked.
All the good questions.
Right, because she said, because I come in low. I know how to strike. I know how to get it out. I'm looking for my prey. You
better watch her.
Well, wait, this is what I hired her. I sure did. Because you know what? She really revealed who she was. Now, I didn't say she played me. I knew exactly who I was dealing with.
Hmm.
But that kind of authenticity and transparency
Right.
was, I mean, it was so bold that I was like, oh, hell yeah. I'm gonna give her a
Absolutely.
chance because sometimes I don't want to go in low. Sometimes I don't want to strike. And sometimes you need a snake, unfortunately.
Yes, you do. And
Exactly.
authenticity is like my favorite word right now.
Well, it is, and not mine. Sometimes I think it's a little oversaturated because you catch us without our makeup on, and in those Birkenstocks and sweatpants, and you done had on for 2 days. You ain't brushed your teeth. That's authentic. That's
Yes,
really
it
who you
is.
are. And people don't want to identify, but they gotta love that too. You got
Right.
to love the bad with the good.
Absolutely.
What are you telling your daughters about body image and being in their feelings and how to deal with that? Because they're looking at you, and
They're
you gotta
looking
be
at
you gotta
me.
be true. You gotta be transparent.
And, there's a lot of things like starting from really young, we don't realize things like when they're crying, oh, do you want a cookie?
Right.
Don't treat them when they're in pain or when, oh, you broke up with your boyfriend. Oh, should we get ice cream? No, let's go for a walk. Let's move our bodies. Let's sit and actually cry and feel those feelings. I don't talk about my body at all in a negative way in front of them. I tell them they're beautiful at whatever size they are, wherever they are on the spectrum. I could recognize that they're not happy with something, and then it's work on changing it. Let's make a plan, but not, you know, diet mentality. Vegetables,
And
water.
don't beat yourself over it. It's fun sitting down eating with your friends and having a beer and eating
Yes,
Mexican food all week long. It's fun, but the most important thing is to consider is your overall health. There are going to be fluffy people, but they're in, reasonably good health.
right.
Um,
I'm one of them.
yeah, I get it too. So we beat up on ourselves in one way and praise ourselves in the other. But that's important. Life is a duality. What does your husband say about it?
About weight.
Just about, because when we lose weight or we gain weight, the hormones go crazy.
He met me
We're
at
women at a
300.
particular age. He bet you
Yes.
at what?
He met me at 300 pounds. And I
Shut the
told him
front door. You was 300 pounds?
I was 350 at my highest.
Wow.
350, a size 26, and my wedding dress for my first wedding for the first husband didn't fit, and it was a size 26. We needed to go back and get the 28. So he met me at 300, and I said, I'm not staying here. So if you like chubby girls, go find another one because I'm in the process of losing weight. He said, I like you. And I knew
Mm.
he was a keeper.
Well, let's talk about the real heavy girl. Um, Brains, you have to, how do I say this politely?
You don't have to be polite with me. You could say it
Well,
the way
it's,
it
it's
needs to
not
be
about
said.
you. It's just in general. You need to
Right.
women need to keep themselves clean, okay? Because
Yes.
you got all this foliage.
Yes.
Lift them breasts up and dry up under them. Put some powder. Lift
Absolutely.
those cracks and crevices up where you getting rash for your underwear is cutting you. Get a bra that fits.
Yes.
Get a body shaper, and pay attention to your stool, okay? Because that tells you if you are rotting inside. I just had to, run the laundry list down because, uh, when you take off your clothes, you see something totally different than what you sent your representative in.
Right.
But you have to take care of yourself. And when you lose that amount of weight, it doesn't just go somewhere in osmosis. You got to figure out what to do. Now, 300, I don't know. I don't know what your body shape was like. But did you have to have any kind of surgery or anything?
I did. I had two
Wow.
surgeries. So I
Wow.
had 8 pounds taken off of my abdomen and skin. So I was cut from hip to hip.
Wow. And I bet the recovery on that mentally also, when you look down and you really saw that you were probably a third of the person that you were before, getting your head around that, finding that self-esteem in that place, because now you don't know what to think. You jump from, the ugly duckling to the swan all of a
And you're not
sudden.
used to the attention. You're not
Right.
used to the way people react to you. I mean, I'm just going to
Mm-hmm.
say it. People don't treat people with weight on the same way they treat people who don't have weight on.
Of course not.
So it was really hard for me to see that and know how different I was being treated. by certain people. That's an adjustment.
But they have their own set of issues. You just can't see they weight.
Absolutely.
The weight is on the back of their neck, pulling their brain down. So what was one of your favorite childhood games to play?
My favorite, I would say Trouble.
Really?
Yes, I loved popping that and trying to get the six so I could come out and
Oh.
start. My other game that I still play to this day is Yahtzee. I love Yahtzee.
Oh yeah, Yahtzee. Yep. I like that. I used to like Monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. But outside game, I used to be hopscotch. Girl, I was a mean hopscotch player.
And
Kids
I would
don't do that anymore. Do families? They don't have game night anymore. You play dominoes and you just really kind of have that conversation. How can we bring that back? What would be some suggestions that you would think? I just say mandate it. We got
what? I agree.
Like date night.
Unplug the TVs on Sunday night. Like they're just not on. And everybody's phone should go in a basket.
Yep.
Like, because everybody's attached to their phone.
That's right.
And they should be checked at the door. If you can't unattach yourself for 2 hours to spend time with your family, because you learn so much about people when you sit and talk and play games.
Yep.
And you forget the stress of the week,
All right, so explain to us your tribal marking on your arm. What does that represent, and why did you do that?
I actually have a compass, and it says "Trust your journey."
Oh,
and, yeah, it's symbolic of my weight loss journey, and my coaching business is Join Jen's journey. So it's just been like a symbolic thing that I need to find my true north, and I need to trust myself. And I need to not look outside of me for the answers.
Absolutely. Well, you are headed true north. That's for sure. So tell my brains how to get in contact with you, how to work with you, just to tap in and just to see if you resonate. Because everybody's not for everybody, but there's 7 billion people on the planet. So there's going to be a whole lot of somebodies for us.
That's awesome. So I am on Facebook. My name is Jennifer Freeman, Freeman. And then I have a website. So my website is Join Jen's Journey, Jen with 2 N's, joinjensjourney.com.
Throw
me a message.
Journey.com. Toss her a message, brains. Send her an email, because that's what we're going to have to do. I tell everybody, Facebook is changing its face.
That's true.
It's going to be two-faced now.
So it's joinjensjourney@gmail.com is my email address.
All right, we're going to put that out there. Brains, thank you so much for giving us a slice and a piece on your plate to give you some information, some soul food that you can use that can nourish your mind, your spirit, your body, and to feel good about yourself. At any weight challenge you are, you got to love the interior more than the exterior, okay? So thank you, Jennifer. Come back and visit me again, okay?
Keep your self-talk going. I'm going to check in on you.
Girl, I talk to myself so much, it be saying, will you shut up?
You got this. Take care.
All right, baby. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.